Hello everyone, this is Riccardo Masini and this is Vlog, and this is Land and Freedom by Alex Knight and designed by Alex Knight and published by Blue Panther. A semi-cooperative game for 1 to 3 players, so it's also possible to play it solitaire, about the Spanish Civil War. Now, if there is a controversial topic in modern history, in contemporary history, that is the Spanish Civil War. And it's almost a century old as an historical event, and this still is today controversial, especially here in Europe, and of course in Spain. This game puts you in the shoes of one of the 3 factions of the Spanish Republic. We all will know the story. The Spanish become a republic, but half of the army revolted with the pronunciamiento and the General Francisco Franco, and then the civil war ensued, and after 3 years the nationalist forces led by Franco, backed by fascist Italy and National Socialist and Nazi Germany, then conquered the rest of Spain, and the Republic fell. We all know that. Also, we know that Francisco Franco was everything but not but stupid. He was quite a clever man, a quite clever politician, and so he stayed fiercely neutral during World War II, and he died in the mid-1970s peacefully, and but for many decades Spain was subjected to an authoritarian regime deep in the heart of Europe. So a very important historical event, as depicted also in artistic sources. We all know Guernica by Picasso, the picture Guernica by Picasso, but also we all know For Whom the Bell Tolls by Hemingway, who fought in the war. We all know Homage to Catalonia by George Orwell, who was a reporter, a journalist in Barcelona during the war, and was quite close to the anarchist formations. And from what he saw in the war, he developed a strong anti-Stalinist conviction, even if, and especially because he was very left-wing, very leftist intellectual. But so what the communists had done to the anarchists to obtain power in the Spanish Republic, in the Republic of Spain. And so after that he wrote the two novels, 1984 and Animal Farm, about his disillusionment, this condemnation of the Stalinist interpretation of socialism and communism, and everything. All that started here in Spain. We also know the great pictures by great movies by Ken Loach. So it is still today, it is a very vibrant, very important, very relevant topic. This game, as I said, puts in the shoes of one of the 3 factions of the Republic: the communists, the moderates, and the anarchists. And I won't go too deep into the mechanic, but here is the cooperative portion of the game, where you have to cooperate to take out these nationalist forces from the various fronts, and avoid the fronts to reach 10 of these points in a front which would close essentially that front. Think of this game more like just like a States of Siege game played by 3 players that are not at all cooperative, not necessarily cooperative among them, sorry. And also you spend your points to flip those to Republican control, and those who win over front with at least 10 Republican forces in a single front, well, yeah, they win that front, and that front is closed. So this is a good news for everyone, especially for those who closed that front with a victory, but also not only for them. Why? Because Here is the competitive part. These are the tracks that depict the social, political, and economic assets, balances, internal balances of the republic, and the free players will constantly spend action points to, for example, to have more Soviet support if you're the communist, or more liberty and collectivization if you are the anarchist, or to put the government on your side and have more foreign democratic aid if you're the moderate. And you're working on these tracks, and they are highly interdependent. What happens on a track might influence other tracks, but everything that you do here to win, because only one player wins, well, it is good for you, but it's something that you are not using here on the cooperative part. And for once, the military part, the kinetic part, is the cooperative part of a game, and the political one is the competitive part of a game. And the two are closely intercorrelated. It is fascinating. And all of this in a very simple, very easy rule set. So what happens in every turn, every round of 4 cards, is a year, and every card is a different crisis. You have three decks for all the years, and you put one, for example, oh, here comes General Sanjuro. These are the frankest, the fastest cards. So, General, what happens? He puts 3 frankest, 3 nationalist forces in the northern front, 3 in the front closest to victory, so the best front for you, and also the collectivization drops down. These are the effects, and after that, what happens? There is a test. If the northern front is at -1 or better, so there's just means just 1 point of frankest forces, well, you have 2 points of foreign aids more. And if the northern front is at -2 or worse, well, you have 2 points less of Soviet support. But wait a minute. This means, well, foreign aid is a good thing, more foreign aid is a good thing for the moderate, but not for the communists. And this is a success. A failure? Wait a moment. If I have a failure, if I'm the moderate, well, I get 2 points less of Soviet support, so the Soviet cannot have a better control of the government. Maybe it is not that bad that this crisis is not resolved, is not a success. So, every player in initiative order chooses one card, one of their card, and then has to choose, and then they put those cards face down on the table, and one by one in initiative order they turn them up and decide, do I spend the action points? Every action point lets you destroy a frankist force here, or move one of those squares. And if I use action points, this card remains on the table, inevitable effect, and other cards can use then these other icons and with other effects. Or I can use the event, and possibly the event doesn't do anything to the affected front, but they are great advantages for me. Here I am, wow, +2 the government, I have the government, so I will have the government will be mine, and I will have 1 more foreign aid. So those are very short advantages, short-term advantages, very powerful. I will also draw 2 cards. Wait a minute, why should I have the communists? I have such a good good card in my hand. Let's play that. And after that, there's a communist and say, what have you done? I will never cooperate you on another crisis card on one of your front. I have to do something to redress the situation. And no one is paying attention to General Sanjuro. And also the anarchists, and so on and so on. So there is a continuous balance between cooperation and competition. And some of those tracks decide who has the initiative, the government between the communists and the moderate, but if the anarchist has 6 points or more in liberty and collectivization, the anarchist will get the anarchist player will get the initiative. Whoever has the initiative at the end of the turn, what does he or she do? She does. Well, let's say that in this situation the moderates have the initiative at the end of the turn, they put one of the tokens here in the back. Oh, sorry. This happens. Sorry, guys. Okay, the microphones. This happens, the motion. They put one of the tokens here in the bag of glory. And in this bag, at the end of the turn of the 4 cards, year 1, well, let's say this happened before. Year 1, well, I blindly take out a counter here. It is good to have more counters than the adversary here. What happens? Well, in 1 slot, oh, after all, it's a communist. The people have recognized the 2 heroes, and this is a victory point for the communists. And so on and so on. 2 are drawn in year 2. In year 3 there is a final bid of small competition with the cards, and then 5 are drawn, so year 3 is very important. And at the end, whoever has more victory points, yeah, that's one. If there is still a republic to celebrate the victory. Why? Because if at any point during the gaming session the Frankists closes 2 fronts, game is over, everybody lost. If the Frankist closes Madrid, everybody lost. The Frankists have taken the capital, the Republic is finished. If at the end of year 3, every year there are 4 cards at the card number 12, after the card number 12, if at least 2 fronts are still at least controlled by the Frankists, that is, there are more Frank in this situation, Northern and Aragon, for example, well, the Republic is lost. The Republic can win only if there are, for example, like this at the end of year 3, let's say this. In this situation, the Republic is alive. And in this situation, you get to count the victory points. It's the only way in which the players can get to decide who has won. There are various bonuses and the hero points that you get if you spend to get the bonuses to move once again the tracks, to have additional cards and so on. But this is essentially the game. Now, what I really like the game, two main things. First one is from a historical and historiographic point of view, because this is a game that makes no discounts for anyone. It is, I won't say neutral, because as we say, historical writing, historiography can never be neutral. This is an illusion, a quite a dangerous one. You always have a perspective, and the perspective, you are one of the 3 factions, come on, of the Republic, so the perspective of course is the Republic, but in every single card there is an historical narration of the events, and quite deep for every single card, and you can read that and you can learn more about a particular aspect of the Spanish Civil War. And all of this, they are, okay, the Frankist cards are narrated from a Republican point of view, and of course there is no shortage of massacres, of violence, of oppression, and so on. They are authoritarian, they're Frankists, they're fascists, okay, that is what they are. But also, what is even more interesting, also every single card of the 3 factions has its own historical narration, and they are all honest, really. There's, as I said, no discount for everybody, for anybody. They are honest, and they are also the bad things that the 3 factions did to each other, and they are quite not neutral, as I said, but quite honest, quite objective. So the data, the informations are here. You decide, you criticize the data, you criticize the information you get, but there is a ton of information inside here. On the cards, on the single events, but also on the dynamics. You see, one of the main reasons why the Republic crumbled, because the 3 factions could essentially, they hated each other almost as bad as they hated the Frankists. So very interesting. Also the game has a deep evolution. The year 1 events are bad but not so bad. The year 2 are quite bad. The year 3 events, the frankest events, are brutal. So really it is very difficult to get to the end of the game. And the first sessions, it will seem almost impossible. Why? Because everyone is tempted. The game tries to put you on the competitive side. But after a few plays, you realize, okay, we have to cooperate. Not so much because I want to win, okay? But I have to understand when to be aggressive, when to be competitive, when to be aggressive against the frankest, or keep my resources back, or and when to be more competitive. When can I afford a bit more competition? For example, you have a crisis that is not so good to be the first player and resolve that crisis. Okay, everybody, it's a success. What happens? It's a free-for-all for the other 2 players, because if the crisis is cancelled, the other 2 players will be able to put everything they want on these tracks. So you're always balancing, always. And this is for an historiographic point of view. This is closely related to the gaming point of view. And the gaming point of view is that this game is deeply engaging. There are constant choices and things and moving parts, but they're not so difficult to understand. Everything is actually very easy. And it's very, for example, very playable solitaire, because also the solo bots are very easy to manage, simple sets of priorities, but also with deep asymmetries between them in the behavior and in the deck composition. For example, the anarchist player looks as the most difficult faction to play, but it is not because they're they're directly competitive, they're more intuitive, but the anarchist has more powerful events, for example. So the anarchist player can really turn things upside down, as the anarchists do. Everything is so thematic in this game, and it is also so easy, so quick, so fast, and so nice. There are good components. Yeah, there are bits here and there, maybe a couple more play of player cards, some small things here that, but nothing too drastic. The rule set is very good, the rule book, but please, I advise you to download the most current version that is downloadable from Bog and Geek, because it is amended. There are not so many erratas, but there are clarifications. It's better to use that version of the rule book. After that, it's very easy. You will learn. This is a game for everyone. No experience necessary. Very quick, very fun, very engaging, and very dramatic. You will feel all the tension, all the atmosphere, and this is the final third reason why I love this game. This game really surprised me, because it is good from a historical point of view, it is good from a gaming point of view, but it's also so incredibly engaging. And you will feel the atmosphere, also a bit of the paranoia when you understand Orwell. This is a very well thought out, very well calibrated, very well done game on such a complex and controversial topic. And believe me, I've been surprised by this game, because I had all at once I had 2 of my buddies coming to my home for a war game night, and I said, oh my god, 3 players, what do I have for 3 players? Yeah, Churchill, but it is so complex, long. Maria, yeah, but we already played that. Well, yeah, I have Land and Freedom, maybe it's the right time to try that. And all of us were taken away. We're all, I'd say, aspect wargames, one in particular, but everyone was really taken away, and now I consider, if not the best 3 players game in my own collection. And I said, I have Churchill, I do have Maria in my collection, one of the very best, and I will play this at any time. Also, it is solid, so this is also So very nice. So it looks like you are playing 3 States of Sieges games, all combined in one, with 2 other players that are not at all cooperating with you. They're not so interested in cooperating with you, and so it is very, very hard, very difficult. But it is also very easy, very simple to manage. This, for me, this is a small gem. Absolutely, absolutely recommended. This is Land of Freedom. This is Riccardo Masini in this vlog, and really, I advise you to buy this game, but at least try that once. I think that you will be quite surprised also by the old small balances. You don't have the king making possible because you put out the victory points. So, for example, but all those small things are really a great game. Thank you very much. Thank you for having been here until here, for having followed me, and as always, don't be scared. It's just war games. Ciao.